when I sneeze, I'll try to sneeze more friendly.
Hello, I'm John Malos, and welcome to Connect with me on this Friday morning on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Today we'll be talking about WestCare. That is an organization that takes care of veterans. It takes care of drug users, those who have HIV. The program administrator is going to be here to talk, Lynn Pimental. Your phone calls are important, 265-4331. Back in a minute. And of course, today's segment is called Your Community. We'll be talking about WestCare in just a moment, but a moment to talk about the Tom Flores show yesterday. In case you missed it, Tom Flores, the two-time Super Bowl winning coach of the Oakland / Los Angeles Raiders, was on the program yesterday. We taped it a couple of months ago. And in case you missed it, it's going to be on, I believe, 2 more times during the holidays, so you'll be able to catch it. We'll let you know when. We'll give you an advanced warning on the dates coming up as to when Tom Flores will run again. You can tell your friends, your family, your relatives, and if you're related to Tom Flores in any way, shape, or form, the guy's from Sanger, somebody's got to be related to him. You can tell family and friends that he's going to be on. All right, on to the program for today, and we're going to be talking about a program that has been around the Central Valley for more than 35 years, actually 37 years to be exact. It's called WestCare. Let's go to the videotape and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Since 1975, WestCare has been taking care of people with drug problems, with HIV, the homeless issue, mental health issues, and they have been serving Valley veterans. In fact, for veterans, there are 2 different facilities. They have one for men, they have one for women. WestCare is a nonprofit organization, which means, of course, it's a 501c3. It's serving Fresno, Sacramento, Hanford, Bakersfield. It's expanding in its coverage, and we'll talk more about that as we get into the show. Let's take some full screens right now, and I'll talk to you and tell you about the programs that in fact they offer at WestCare. If we can put those up on the screen, there they are. They serve Valley veterans. Day reporting, we'll get into that and expand on that and what that means. Options is another program. The Living Room takes care of HIV patients, and then Alpha Beta 5. Live in our studio right now is Lynn Pimental. She is the Deputy Administrator for WestCare. And if you have any questions for her, if you have HIV, if you are a drug user, if you have some mental health issues and need taking care of, call in and talk to Lynn today. Ask her some questions. The telephone number, as usual, you know it by now. It is 265-4331. We're back in a moment. Our program today on WestCare.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
So WestCare has been around now 37 years, serving the Central Valley, all sorts of programs for people who have numerous problems, whether it be mental health, whether it be drug abuse, alcohol, veterans who might be homeless. Lynn Pimental is here now. She is the Deputy Administrator. Lynn, good to see you. How are you? Welcome to the program.
Good morning, John, and thank you for having me.
Oh, good.
And hello.
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 You doing okay on a Friday?
I'm good. Fridays are good. Fridays
That's
are always good.
And so this program, it's WestCare. You offer so many programs, and you know all about it because you're almost like I guess I could say a former patient.
I am.
Talk about that a little bit before we get started about WestCare.
I got into the field because of my connection with what was known as the third floor. In 1990, I decided I needed to address an alcohol and drug problem, and I entered the program as a consumer. I went through a year of residential treatment and a year of aftercare. I entered this field after having graduated from Fresno State with a master's in rehabilitation counseling, working in the field for the state of California and the state of Nevada as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, and being a very high-functioning addict, alcoholic. Coming to terms with that at the age 40 was difficult.
So you were an addict, and you had some alcohol problems.
Correct, both.
What kind of an addict were you? What were you?
Heroin. Okay. Heroin addict.
How did you get hooked on heroin?
I was a real product of the 60s. People coming back from Vietnam came back, and we became recreational users. And I was able to remain recreational, again, through college and professional career. It sounds very bizarre, but it was very mainstream.
This was back in when? The 70s?
Late 60s, 70s,
yeah,
80s.
Yeah. Very prevalent back then.
Very prevalent. And again, ultimately, though, the addictions will always cost you your life, everything you know, and you will either deal with death, institutions, or recovery. And I decided recovery was my choice.
Well, how'd you find out about WestCare at the time?
At the time, it was called the Third Floor. And it's not a very proud story in my life, but I had some criminal charges, and I was either looking at time in prison or going into treatment.
Because of the heroin use?
Because of crimes associated with getting revenue to buy heroin, yes. I'd go through cycles in my life where I would stop using heroin, but I never stopped drinking. And when I came to terms with the fact that I couldn't drink either, things turned around.
Yeah.
So I entered treatment. I did the program. I stayed affiliated with treatment through an alumni association. When the Third Floor merged with WestCare in 1994 or 5, I stayed connected as a volunteer, an advocate, a mentor. I always gave back to the community, and I saw WestCare as my family. And I ultimately went to work for them in 2000, and I've been with them ever since in a variety of positions. But my philosophy is you keep what you have by giving it away. And so I try every day to touch the lives of folks grappling with addiction, old, young, new, old, in terms of recovery, and families, children, adolescents, and adults.
Yeah, and you're still giving back. And are you drug-free and alcohol-free today?
I am drug-free and alcohol-free today, and I'm looking at my 22nd sobriety birthday in December.
Congratulations.
It's very exciting.
That's good.
Very
so
exciting.
Talk about some of these programs that you offer, and one at a time, because we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and confuse the viewer. Now, you offer several different programs. Let's start with the, we've got some video here called the daycare video, and I think the program is called Day Reporting. We'll turn to the monitor here, Lynn, and you can talk about what this program is all about. It's called Day Reporting. Not sure what that is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Day Reporting Center is a project funded by the California Department of Corrections to serve individuals on parole. It's a mandatory program. The parole agent demands that they go. However,
what are we looking at here?
It is voluntary on their part. This is simply an overview of the services provided. These are individuals who participate in it. They come for classes, for vocational services. While at the facility on a daily basis, they work on GED, getting a job, keeping a job, saving their money, staying clean and sober.
So many of them are not even high school graduates.
Absolutely. Many of them have a 6th grade education, are illiterate, have never worked in the competitive labor market, and they're trying to break that cycle of criminal behavior. That's really what it's about.
So that's what the Day Reporting program is about.
Correct.
And that's what we're looking at here. These people come in, they try to turn their lives around, basically.
Yes. And again, get off parole, not reoffend.
Now, is that facility that we're looking at, is that located in Fresno? We'll turn you right back around here. Where is it?
Fresno, Belmont, and Echo, near Fulton.
Okay.
It's a community-based program where people can come and go as they need to.
Is it full?
It's always at capacity. There are literally folks dying to get in. But we will serve anybody that walks in the door. 100.
Okay.
So we see 50 folks in the morning and 50 in the afternoon.
And what are some of the activities that they do there to try to turn their lives around?
We talk a lot to them and with them about changing criminal thinking, not using drugs and alcohol, how to stay clean and sober, how to develop positive relationships. There are actual classes. There's psychological process groups. There's a vocational lab where they must learn how to complete an application, get a job. They do GED preparation. It's very structured, and they are there 7 days a week. Holidays, and we're open from 8 in the morning till 8 at night to capture everybody. There are many homeless people on parole, and this gives them a place too to come, and they can wash their clothes, get some hot meals while they're consuming services and learning how not to be a criminal and how to get off parole.
Yeah, and you have trained professionals on hand.
We have certified substance abuse counselors, folks experienced with mental health services. We have individuals very knowledgeable of criminal behavior. We have vocational counselors, computer lab instructors. We do classes for them on domestic violence and help them address their issues, legal issues. And Marjorie Mason Center is one of our partners. They facilitate the groups at our site so that the parolees can meet their legal obligations, not reoffend, and hopefully eventually reunited with their family if that's a choice.
Right. Okay, we're talking with Lynn Pimental. She is the Deputy Administrator for WestCare. It is a company here that helps many individuals with many different types of problems. They've been around 37 years. If you have a problem right now and you're watching the program and you want to call in and be a part of the program and ask any kind of questions, we certainly welcome that at area code 559-265-4331. We're back in just a moment.
Fall for Me TV. This fall on Me TV, Remington Steele.
It's definitely an emergency.
Oh yeah, also Emergency.
Please stay with me.
And more familiar faces.
You act like I've never been on television before.
Me TV continues to deliver the shows you remember.
I remember.
And you may discover shows you've never seen before.
Is that a threat?
Fall for Me TV. For a complete schedule, go to metvnetwork.com.
And if you have any types of problems, whether it be mental health problems, drug problems, addiction problems, alcohol problems, you're a veteran who is homeless and you need help, you can call WestCare, call our program and talk to Lynn Pimental. She is our guest here today, 265-4331. Any kind of question, we'll answer it. You don't have to give your name, just call anonymously here and ask her a question. I want to talk about another program, Lynn. And it deals with mental health. And this, as I understand it, doing a little bit of research on the program today, that is one of the major problems here in the Central Valley. A lot of people have mental health issues here in the Central Valley, and your program helps how many of them?
That's hard to say. My guess is on any given day we have at least 150 folks sitting in a chair consuming mental health services. But that fluctuates. Many people come into programs with a problem such as criminal behavior, substance abuse, or homelessness. And along the way, we identify the mental health problems.
Yeah, they could be psychotic,
depressed, anxious,
yes, anxious,
paranoid. They could
Correct.
have schizophrenia.
Correct.
They could have a wide variety of severe mental health issues. So we try to screen and address everybody to see if they have a need and then link them to care.
Let's turn around and look at the monitor one more time. We'll take a look at some of the services that you offer in terms of mental health care. And there aren't that many facilities in the Central Valley that offer mental health services. Am I right about that?
It's greatly reduced, correct.
Because of money.
Lack of revenue and reduction in services.
So what's this here?
Options is a program funded by Fresno County utilizing Prop 63 money for mental health.
What are we looking at here?
This is the Options program. Is nestled at the old UMC campus, the medical center, where it's a day treatment program where severely mentally ill individuals can come in for individual and group counseling, medication management. We have a psychiatrist on staff, licensed mental health clinicians, mental health rehab specialists, and we provide not only the mental health services, but also socialization skills, reintegration into the community. And we work with the families of the mentally ill to help them learn how to grapple with the problems.
Right.
Many of them lack a source of income, so we also help them, if they're entitled, to get Social Security benefits, to link to other providers and get Medi-Cal.
Because they can't work.
Because they can't work, or they
Right.
need assistance with sheltered living and life skills.
Yeah.
Years ago, or several years ago, the California voters decided that money needed to be carved out for mental health services, and that's that Prop 63 Mental Health Services Act. In Fresno County, a very wide variety of creative programs were developed to address the high number of mentally ill we serve and the fact that the county just can't do it all. We also opened the supportive overnight stay program so that individuals going into emergency departments and had nowhere to go when they walked out the door, we would pick them up, work with them, give them a safe place overnight, get them ready, and then the next day literally drive them to the next best level of care and follow them for 45 to 90 days to make sure they stayed linked to care. Our intent is to unclog our emergency rooms. When Fresno County went through a reduction in services, many uninsured individuals in the county, and about a third of our population is uninsured.
But you can only handle so many at one time.
Correct.
Which is about, what, 100 and...
Well, the options program sees on a regular basis we have about 120, but there are many other programs in town.
That you partner with?
That we partner with, that we collaborate with. The
Okay.
Blue Sky Wellness Center is a social center, but peer supported. Turning Point of California has many mental health programs.
I see.
Kingsview. We try to partner with everybody to stretch the limited dollars to make sure patients get the best level of care. There's warm handoffs between all of our agencies.
I see.
It's a tough problem. And when I say a third of our population is medically uninsured and medically indigent,
You mean in this area?
in Fresno County.
Yeah.
And we have one of the highest rates of infant mortality. We have one of the highest rates of unemployment. We have some serious issues, and they all impact the mental health. And lots of our mental health folks self-medicate.
So what I'm wondering is, okay, if these people that come in and that you serve and they're on medication, okay, they're going through your program, there's about 120 of them, do you ever turn any of these people around where they can go out into the workforce?
Oh,
they can go out on their own? Or do they stay in the program forever?
No, they absolutely, and it's not designed for them to stay forever. It's
How
designed for about 90 days to 120 days to get them ready for the next step.
At no cost?
At no cost to them.
Okay.
And it's funded through Medi-Cal and the Prop 63 funds from Fresno County.
Okay.
We get them ready for day treatment, independent
But
living.
what if they can't go out on their own after 90 days? What do you do then?
We link them to supported housing for the severely mentally ill, to Turning Point's full-service partnerships that assist them as a case manager throughout their life.
Yeah. In other words, you just can't handle them beyond 90 days. It's just not in the cards.
And it's not funded for that. But we do follow them and monitor them, and sometimes they come in and out. But we don't just cut them loose. We make sure they're at the best possible level of care.
You got to make sure they have a support system at some point. All right, Lynn Pimental is our guest here. She is the Deputy Administrator for WestCare. Great program, services they offer here in the Central Valley for the mentally ill and disabled and, those who have drug problems, alcohol problems, veterans. We're going to talk about that too, the Veterans Program. We're back in a moment. 265-4331 is the number.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want.
This Amana Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is now just $6.99, and this heavy-duty Maytag Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is only $8.99.
Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
Your phone calls are important. Hey, the line is open on this Friday, and no one has called in so far, so don't be bashful if you do have a question and you do have some problems and you want to call in, or you might have a relative or a friend that is in need. Call in and talk to Lynn or ask her a question here. The number is on your screen. I can see it right there. It's 265-4331. So we have an open line right now. Lynn, I want to talk about how you help Valley veterans, because as you know, this is an ongoing problem with Valley veterans. But before we get to that, we do have a phone call. So let's take that first, and we'll get into Valley veterans in just a moment. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I have a question about, well, let's say it's a relative of mine by marriage. He's got behavioral problems, and he's still in a home environment. He's well past the age of 21. His parents can't control him anymore. He hasn't committed a crime. He's not taking any medication, but he obviously needs medication. How to best deal with the situation, Lynn?
The first step should be to make a call to an admissions office where we could do a full screening and assessment to determine what level of care is needed. And then he would be welcomed into one of the most appropriate programs, whether it's an outpatient or residential, mental health, substance abuse. There's a wide variety. To be honest, a lot of it is driven by the availability of funding. So we work closely with the families to try to find a way to get services at no cost. Sometimes there's a small share of cost. Insurance will cover some treatment. And the bottom line is the young man needs to want to access it. I'm sure the parents and family are very concerned, but a lot of it will hinge on how concerned is he and how ready is he. But I don't believe there's a wrong door ever for treatment. And one of the best ways is have them come down and talk to somebody so that he can hear from an objective person choices in his life.
Yeah, and so a lot of this is up to that individual.
Correct.
But a lot of individuals are not in a position to help themselves.
Correct.
So they do need a helping hand.
Yes. And we welcome calls from family members at our admissions office. And anytime you need help, you simply can call WestCare and ask for Lynn Pimental, and I will guide you through to the best place. I may be the deputy administrator, but I also feel like I'm the best place to start because I can link you to care in the right door quickly.
Yeah, a lot of young people are, in that same situation.
Yes, they are.
They go to college or graduate from college, or maybe don't go to college, or whatever their situation is, and they live at home for quite a number of years, and they have problems off and on. So that's a common situation.
It's not uncommon. Correct. It's very common, and it is hard on families, and we do really want to rehabilitate the entire family. So we offer services to the family to help them understand how best to deal with their family member.
Yeah. 265-4331 is the number. Getting back to the Valley veterans, how do you help them, and what kind of problems do they have? This is, this is a major problem, not only here in the Central Valley, but nationwide with veterans.
WestCare has a program called San Joaquin Valley Veterans. It's an independent program. It's under our umbrella, but it's designed as a drop-in center for veterans to walk in and say, hey, I need a cup of coffee. I want to talk to somebody.
What if they need a coat?
We have coats, clothes, food, bus tokens. The thought is a lot of veterans are a little mistrustful of the Veterans Administration.
Why?
Well, there's some history. There's some discomfort. There's always some grappling of acquisition of benefits, accessing services, perhaps issues of PTSD or sexual military trauma. So ours is that welcoming door that massages them into the Veterans Administration.
Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Good morning, John. Question for Lynn, maybe a couple of them. I'll make it brief. Who is her pay? She's covered by what company that pays her, or is this a nonprofit, or the citizens of Fresno that pay her?
WestCare is a private nonprofit. We generate our revenues through applications for grants and funding from a variety of sources. The United States Probation Department, Veterans Administration, Fresno County, State Office of AIDS, Behavioral Health Services, and a variety of other providers. We rely solely on our generation of revenues through grant writing. WestCare pays my salary, and I like to say I am I'm employed by the clients we serve, and that's essentially who I'm accountable to.
Yeah, and Lynn, one more question. Is there any, would you say, spiritual discussions that brought up to, as far as God, a supreme being, that would help them through the difficult times?
We offer a variety of options for consumers. They can participate in elective programs such as Bible studies, church services, Native American spiritual ceremonies. We do offer on-site 12-step programs that talk about the higher power in a relationship. None of it is mandatory. It is all available, and it's all optional. We do believe, and in our motto, we talk about uplifting the human spirit, whatever it takes to empower people to improve the quality of their lives.
Thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. Two excellent questions. Getting back to the Valley veterans now, you're talking about the Veterans Administration and them being very distrustful. How do you get them to trust you?
We spend time talking to them, building rapport, being a
Right.
warm, welcoming place, offering them a cup of coffee. And if we can help them, making sure we can get them where they do get help. We do have funding.
What are some? Give us an example of, say, the top 2 or 3 problems that veterans are having right now.
Access to services such as disability benefits,
Okay.
Locating employment, retaining housing,
Okay.
and grappling with their medical issues, specifically post-traumatic stress, military sexual trauma, and for the Vietnam era veteran, the aging process and still dealing with old mental health problems.
Yeah.
We have a lot of war fronts we're addressing, and they're all different. Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, you have Afghanistan, you have Gulf.
Those are the majority, right?
Right
because
now,
the World War II veterans are just, they're unfortunately, they're dying off.
The new veterans are the majority, but there's still a very large number of Vietnam era veterans grappling with issues.
From the Vietnam era.
From the Vietnam era.
Dating back to the 60s and 70s?
Correct. And we also have a lot of veterans in the criminal justice system. And so we work closely with their transition out of institutions. When we offer services, it's really the whole body, not just the veterans' issues.
Quickly, who's the most forgotten group, do you think? Would it be the Vietnam veterans or the newer veterans of Iraq, Afghanistan, the Gulf War?
Probably the Vietnam era veteran, because they assume by now, gee, they should have outgrown those issues or be okay or better.
Yeah.
The new veterans are a little more assertive, and they receive much more acknowledgement.
Quickly, we've got 2 minutes. The living room is for HIV patients, correct?
The living room is for individuals and their families affected or infected with HIV/AIDS.
And who in Fresno County is more affected or afflicted with HIV, and why?
Right now, it's men of color, whether it's Latino or African American, and it's predominantly men who are having
Do we know why?
men who are having sex with men, unprotected sex in heterosexual relationships, and a small portion are IV drug users. People tend to think that HIV is spread only through the IV intravenous use, and a very tiny percent through blood-borne
and you have numbers to back all these up, right?
We do. The Fresno County Department of Public Health does excellent work in providing that information.
All right. Now, another program you foster here is the Alpha Zeta Phi program. And what is that all about?
Alpha Zeta Phi is a program for female runaway homeless youth. And these are young girls 16 to 22 who may be pregnant or parenting. They're on the streets or in unstable living environments. And we provide housing.
For how long?
For 2 years with their children.
Okay.
And that includes completion of high school, entrance into college, vocational services, parenting information, and independent living skills. These young ladies, we try to treat as a campus.
Quickly, we're out of time almost here. The phone number is what?
For WestCare, the best number to call for any information is 251-4800, or, I'm sorry, 237-3420. 237-3420.
Okay.
We'll get to our admissions office and me.
All right, we're out of time.
Oh.
We're going to get cut off. Okay. Lynn Pimental, thank you. Come back again.
Thank you.
Interesting topic here about WestCare. Hope you have a great weekend. On Monday, Dennis Hart of KMJ will return to connect with me. See you then.